Well, hopefully you've processed all that new information from example 2. There was quite a lot of it. Well, most of it was supposed to be review. But what we're looking at now is figuring out all of the trigonometric ratios given a point. And it's actually a little easier if you know 2 of the coordinate points, because then you could just set yourself up a triangle. So the first thing we're going to do is sketch it. Sketch it. Always sketch it so you can see it. Figure out what quadrant it's in, go from there. Now the point they gave us is -2 and 5, so I'll go over to -2 and up to 5 and make myself a little point P right there. Then they kind of want you to sketch it in so it connects to the origin, and then they'll be like the length of OP. Well, it's the origin to P, it's just the line. And what they want is for you to figure out what this is. Because you know that this is a little triangle now, and that this is -2, and this is 5. So what's your hypotenuse? Well, how do we find the hypotenuse if we have the sides? Pythagoras. Square root of 5 squared plus 2 squared. The negative part doesn't matter because you're going to square it anyway. So it's just a triangle. Is going to equal r. And that's going to be your hypotenuse, so you can use that to set up all of your trig ratios. This is one of those ones where it's not on the unit circle. Okay, so square root of 25 plus 4 equals the square root of 29, and that's not solvable. We want exact values here. 29 does not give us a perfect square root. That means we'd always have to round it off. So we're just going to say that r is root 29 and leave it at that. So we've got x, we've got y, and we've got r. We can simply plug in those values and get the trig ratios now. It's like the easiest thing in the world. As long as you can get that sorted, you're good to go. Because sine is always y over r. So it's going to be 5 over root 29. Simple. If you want to actually solve it, then you would have to go second function sine, bracket 5 over square root of 29, close bracket, right? Plug it into your calculator. But when they ask you to figure out the ratios, they're not asking you to find the angle. They just want the ratio as it is. So, moving on, cosine is x over r. X is -2 over root 29. Done. Tan is y over x, which is simply 5 over 2 or -5 over 2. Because as long as it's got a negative in there somewhere, it's good to go. Now the reason I set them up like this is because I can now do the opposite of sine. It has to have a but cosine's already used. Don't ask me why. So it has to be cosecant. So cosecant is going to be the opposite of this, root 29 over 5. Didn't have to solve it. Just know that it's the flip of this one, or the next one down. So cosine already has a so its flip has to be secant, and then you just flip it, root 29 over -2, or you could just make the negative on the whole thing, whatever. And what color am I missing here? Tan is going to be, oh, that's a terrible color. I don't know, just going to use blue again. It's going to be cotan, and so we're just going to flip it -2 over 5. Oh, see how easy that was? You just find your triangle, you know your 3 sides, you put the 3 sides in there, well, you put the 3 sides in there, and then you flip these guys upside down, you're good to go.